UK. Well, it's round 4 of the GT3 League. Can you quite believe that already? I don't know where that time has quite gone. As we enter into the second half of the season, we head over, of course, to the good old US of A, to Long Beach for tonight's action. The drivers just currently on their warm-up session ahead of the short race, and later on we'll be bringing you live coverage of the feature race. So, I'm Tim Cox, and as always, I'll be joined later on the show by my good friend James Parfitt. He'll be joining us for the feature race. But now you just have to, unfortunately, just listen to myself whistling on, and you've got good old producer Sean in the background, making all the magic happen and bringing it all together. This great footage of the races ahead. So, Long Beach. What can we say about Long Beach? Well, it's a tight circuit for those of you that don't know it, as you can see from some of the images currently on the screen right now. And as if that wasn't enough, being a street circuit, of course you have walls running along the edge of the track. So there's literally no margin for error around here at all. And of course, you've then got there's two corners which are well worth looking at on the circuit that are really, really tight. You've got, as you round the water fountain, which is turn 2, and then you've got the very last corner as well. And that's, wow, what can we say about it? It's incredibly tight hairpin. Normally taken in first, second gear maybe, depending on how sort of much traction and how adventurous the drivers are and good at controlling wheel spin. Obviously the GT3s do largely come with traction control, but you can turn that up and down a little bit as we just watch one of the drivers drift around the corners pretty much there. So I think it's definitely going to be interesting to see, and I noticed a few of you within the chat already have said how many drivers are going to survive turn 1. Well, we've got around about 3 minutes and we should be finding out very shortly how many drivers will survive turn 1 or even lap 1. But I think it's definitely, we're going to see lots of great action, tight wheel-to-wheel action. That's all you see. We're currently looking obviously at the last corner now. You can see just how tight and how challenging it is for our drivers. Just currently keep an eye on full start right now. You see the drivers as they come past the start-finish. Like, this is what I think is great about Long Beach, though. Being a street circuit, you're right on top of the action constantly. So it's a really, really good place to go and watch racing. You know, it's like obviously Monaco, it's incredibly popular because you literally sat right on top of the action. There's no large runoff areas where you're sort of quite a distance from the cars. You're literally sat right on top of them. Now, just having a little look, El Neil, thank you for coming in with the pro subscription on Twitch. It's subscribed for 3 months in a row. Thank you for that one. Buzz Races, they've subscribed for 4 months and currently on a 3-month streak. Thank you for that, sir. Muchly appreciated. Now, if you're watching us over on YouTube, don't forget to give us a like and a subscribe on there. If you're watching us on Twitch, don't forget to follow. And yeah, if you want to give us a subscription, all the more better. So, who are iRacing UK? Well, we're a community of individuals who come together for practice sessions, races, obviously leagues, but most of all, just to share our passion and our love for sim racing. All of the leagues are put on, and practice sessions as well, are put on completely free of charge. So all of your subscriptions go towards keeping the leagues and all the practice sessions completely free of charge. Now, I've just seen Chris Eddy just saying that he saw a 10-car pileup. I think that could be what we could experience potentially if one of the drivers do get it a little bit sideways, have a little coming together with the wall, let's say. And like we say, certain parts of the track, namely around the first 3 corners, but then the last 3 as well, where the track really tightens up. All it's going to take is one mistake, especially from someone higher up the order, and we could see a little bit of a car park emerging. Hopefully we won't see it to quite the extent of the scenes that we saw. I'm sure many of you will have seen that viral clip from the Macau Grand Prix about, I think that was 2018 now, where there was a GT3 race and I think it was one of the Porsches just lost it into the last one corner and caused a multi-million-pound pile-up and cars all over the place. One car was on top of another one as well, where they completely concertinaed up. So hopefully we'll see none of that tonight. and hopefully we'll have lots of great, clean racing. Now, if you're sort of sat here thinking, Tim, I'd absolutely love to be a part of this. How do I get involved? How do I join iRacing UK? Well, you can do that in one of a few ways. You can head across to our Facebook page, which is facebook.com/iRacing UK. You can also drop a message into the Twitch chat, and that'll get picked up in there, and we'll get in contact with you. Or you can follow us on Instagram and Twitter, where we are team_IRUK. And you can drop us a message on there. We'll send you across a link for the Discord, and we can get you involved. It's an absolutely brilliant community. Lots and lots of great guys and girls alike, and all willing to help and share. If you're maybe looking for a team to enter endurance events in, we get involved in that as well, with entering in numerous, well, pretty much all of the majors, and also recently raising funds as well for the brilliant mental health charity Mind. And it's just out for our various streams where the drivers entered. That was the GT3 24 hours of Spa, as the drivers just take it to the grid now, and we'll be getting the action shortly underway, just sitting behind the Porsche 911 safety car there. So just to run you through the quick grid, we've got Jones on pole in his Lamborghini, just waiting for Finn van der Wittenborg to join in his Mercedes. So we've got, looks like he's not made the grid potentially, so that'll be interesting to see how he comes through the pack. We've seen from some great drives from Van Wittenborg this season, so that'll be interesting. Lavette, Contos, Lavette, Edmondson, Andres Baderi in his Porsche, another strong driver. As they just come around the last corner, all taking a single fire ahead across the start-finish line. Let's get ready, because GT3 is go at Long Beach, and it's an absolutely great start from Jones, left of the pack. But here comes Alan Lever, really sending his Lamborghini. He's got an absolute brilliant jump off the last corner, and he's made it comfortably past Jones into turn one. Nice and safely done, just keeping a little bit of an eye in the background there. Looks like all of our drivers so far, touch wood, have made it through. Matthew Stubbers looks like he's had a bit of an instant. See if we can catch up with that later on. But the driver's just looks like taking it a little bit tentatively to start off with. I know a few of the drivers are saying beforehand about potentially starting from the pits. Van Wittenborg, one of those drivers, already taking that. Just looking to try and avoid any potential carnage on the outlap. And let's have a look at Struthers now. Just looking backwards on him, and he's running very, very wide, almost like he was trying to run side by side. Oh, is he going to get the car turned around? That's incredibly close. Oh no, that's contact, where he's just cannoned off the wall there, and I'm not too sure whose Porsche that was there that he connected with. But back to the lead now. We've got Alan Lever. He's so we see the Constantine effect, where the drivers have to throw out the anchor and really slow it down, and almost to a crawl, as we've got a BMW drifting and sliding, struggling for traction in the background there. I think that one was yes, Peter Cox there, really struggling to get an exit off the last corner there. And Lavette looks like he's had a bit of an instant further up the field, but he doesn't seem to have dropped any places, luckily. Just keep an eye on him here. I think he was maybe one of these guys who got caught up. Yeah, Damien Lavette here in this Porsche. And he's one of the guys who just caught out by the concertina effect of what guys that was Jones slowing up a bit extra, and then Contos, and then Lavette just obviously rear-ending him, completely innocent. Got Matthew Struthers here, currently residing down in 17th place in his Mercedes. Really, really giving Stuart Williams the hurry up, and Edmondson looks like he's got a bit of a damage. It's got to be damage there. He's crawling through incredibly slow. Maybe even a slowdown. I'm not too sure where you picked one of those up. Let's have a look. I think he just seems to have slowed down, so maybe some technical difficulties he's currently experiencing there. Well, bit of a shame for him. Well, here we go. We've got a nice bit of action. It's Ferrari's line of stern. 6th, 7th, 8th and 9th place. We've got Edmondson at the front of that Ferrari shape, being harassed by Shane Abbott, Mark Johnson and Mark Jennings. So they come across the start-finish line. Can you believe it? Already 2 laps gone, 27 minutes to go. And I think amazingly, I don't know if you agree with me, chap, it's been relatively uneventful in terms of accidents. I'm actually genuinely really surprised. I was expecting to see quite a bit more action and in terms of accidents and maybe a few drivers connecting with the wall, but just goes to show the real quality of drivers that we have within the league. As mentioned, previously, if you'd like to join, head across to our Facebook page. You'll see links to that pop up shortly within the stream. And if you want to get involved, Season 4, can you believe Season 4 doesn't seem too long ago since we started Season 1. That'll be looming, and within the coming months, we'll be taking entrance for Season 4. The GT3 League just seems to get bigger and better every single season. Like I said, they're saying in the chat, love Matt's livery. That'll be Matt Emerson here. This dark blue and light blue Ferrari just look absolutely stunning. And so Van der Wittenborn started from the pits in his Mercedes with that camo bonnet and rear bumper. He's really struggling to. He's almost being held up by Paul Stout here in his green Porsche. Stout takes a really shallow line, but managed to get it round okay. But the battle for 9th place, 8th place between Johnson and Jennings really starting to heat up. Long Beach, bit of a track that's notorious for being hard to overtake on. And it just looks like at the moment Johnson is just almost holding them up initially. And we've got Peter Cox in his pink and black BMW right behind him, looming, just hoping to capitalise on one mistake. Likewise, James Foster, we've seen some great drives from him this season in that pink Audi. And he'll be looking to hopefully capitalise. And but the trouble is obviously, aside from the start-finish straight, which technically isn't straight because you've got that, what is technically that turn 1, that's a right-hander, that's a sweeping right-hander. And this realistically, hard onto the brakes, is the main overtaking place into turn 1 on track. Other than that, a lot of it is semi-processional. It's just about being consistent around Long Beach and ensuring you keep it out of the wall. Talking of consistent, we've got Contos here. He's got Damien Lavette for company. And talking of overtaking place into turn 1, that looks like Lavette's going to get the move done on Contos. Absolute textbook move on the brakes. And then we've got Edwardson's lost his place to Shane Abbott here. And we'll see if we can cut to a replay on that. I imagine that's going to be another turn 1 move done. Here we go. Yep. Abbott just chucked up in the slipstream, and Edmondson didn't go defensive, which was surprising, seeing how close Abbott was. And yeah, another turn 1 move done. Now let's take a little look back to the I thought we were going to a different bit of footage there. We got the Edmondson just now it's his turn to harry and harass Shane Abbott's Ferrari. That's a blue and red Ferrari, and it's producer will just say such a good colour car there. I know it's popular within the chat. Edmondson's Ferrari is. It's looking absolutely stunning livery. A lot of our guys make their own liveries, and some absolutely brilliant efforts that are put in by the drivers. The creativity that they go for. As we just presume the battle at the front, we've got Lever, who's being followed. Only 3 tenths behind him is Andrew Jones. The Lamborghini seems to be the car to have in the sprint race. And looks like Johnson's maybe had a bit of a incident because Cox and Jennings has managed to get past him off camera. We'll see if we can cut back to that. Here we go. The magic of TV. So, oh no, he just, as he's rotating the car, looked to get maybe the switch back on him and just caught Jennings there. I know it's going to go 3 wide into turn 1. Hopefully this doesn't end in incident, and Jennings, he's going to pick up the slipstream, but he looks like he's backed out of it potentially. Just looking to take the racing line, and absolutely brilliant move from Peter Cox. 2 cars in 1 small area. I think that was Johnson there, Jennings just throwing down in that white 118 liveried Ferrari just lost all his places there. Such a shame for him, but that's sort of released Peter Cox, and we'll see what ground he can try and make up as Andrew Jones running it incredibly close to the wall there. If not, maybe he's giving a little bit of a graze there. And this is where the true action is. We've got Foster down in the pink Audi, and they've got Mark Johnson ahead of him and Peter Cox, and looks like Cox is going to have to drive in the slipstream. He's going to be on the inside into turn 1, but looks like Foster just holding back and letting these two guys get on with their racing and see if he can pick up any scraps potentially. But no, Cox, an absolute textbook move up the inside into turn 1, and I don't know about you, chat, I'm really surprised that there's not more drivers gone defensive into turn 1. We've seen a lot of the drivers assume the normal racing line, and no one really going defensive. And look, it's been the last of the late breakers, and just try and put up a bit of a fight. Really, it's a bit of a strange one. But as we know, with Long Beach, it's all about keeping out of the walls, and maybe that's the drivers just hoping that they can keep out of, that they'll keep out the wall themselves, and maybe there'll be an incident ahead of them they can capitalise on. But Andrew Jones has caught right up on Andrew Lavette. This is the closest he's been for a couple of laps, and it looks like Lavette must be running a slightly lower downforce setup, because Jones just doesn't seem to have an answer for him on the start-finish straight. Yeah, again, he's just, if anything, he's extending his gap. They're running exactly the same car, the V10 Lamborghini Huracan, and Jones just doesn't seem to have too much of an answer for him. It's a bit of a strange one, really. It's got to be down to wow, piling on about setups, but here we go. Some lovely action. Ollie Pimley running it up the inside of Mark Johnson there. Mark Johnson tumbling down the order. We're losing places, and Pimley already up 5 places so far this race. It looks like he's made a few moves there to get past previously James Foster in his Audi, and managed to side his way through that little battle. And I think a few of those drivers tucked up within this group are looking to just try and clear it, so that they can get some fresh air and just try and catch on Peter Cox, who's the next car up on the road. As we see Pimley is 2 into 1, so that's his first one past Mark Jennings, and that's a little bit of an orthodox part. That's just as they come up to the right-hander midway through the track. That's just coming off Pine Avenue and onto Seaside Way. Obviously, being a Long Beach, being a street circuit, obviously a lot of the straights tend to have names where they're obviously street names. But here we go, Ollie Pimley, he's going to go defensive, obviously listening to me, and about how no one had gone defensive before. And there we are, so that was a replay there, as it looks like he's already pulled out around about half a second over Johnson, so definitely feeling like he was caught up behind him, and he's definitely making use of that fresh air and getting away. Now, last time around, Peter Cox set his best lap of the race, but however, fastest lap of the race so far, the first person to break into the 1:19s is our leader, Alan Lavette, in his Lamborghini, and it's just a strange Andrew Jones. He seems to catch up with him within the infield section, if you want to call it, before the start-finish straight, but this is the closest he's been so far. It's down to a 10th, and he's absolutely harassing Lavette, and let's see if he's going to be close enough. Can he get a decent exit off the last corner? Here he goes, but already Lavette's managed to pull a gap on him of 3/10, and we're going to see Lavette just walk away from him yet again. Just looking at their top speeds, there's only a km/h difference between them. The highest top speed so far recorded is Damien Lavette in his Porsche of 257 kilometers. As Lavette's really sort of harassing the car and hurrying it along as he tries to escape from the clutches of Andrew Jones, who just hasn't been able to shake all race long. We're 9 laps in so far, and he's been on the back of him every single time. I think it's Foster, no, I thought Foster had lost another place then, but he's got Joe Turner McMullen right behind him in his Lamborghini. And Foster's... Oh, no, okay, as we head back to the action for the front. And Jones nearly getting it up the inside of Lavette there, but Lavette just managed to escape from his clutches yet again, and there just seems to be this nothing that Jones can do. Although Lavette's run wide, this is his chance now. This is Jones's chance. He's managed to get it past. He's running wide. This is going to go side by side into the last corner. Lavette's gone deep, Joe's gone shallow. This is going to be all about the straight line acceleration now, these two Lamborghinis, but look who's looming right behind them while these two are being battling. Lavette's caught right up in his purple Porsche, and he's just obviously going to sit behind these guys as they're now battling hard for the lead. Lavette, he's still trying to find a way past Jones, but he's not managed to fight back, and this could be Jones gone. Essentially, he's been a lot stronger everywhere else in the circuit, other than the start-finish straight in the last corner. This could well be him gone. Because we've got the battle between Jennings and Johnson here, and this looks like that's going to be Johnson's going to stay ahead of Jennings. He's running, almost bailed out of the move there as he tried to run it up the inside. But of course, as we know, if you're going to put it up the inside, there's low room for error. You're going to end up, if you cut on corner exit, if you're running side by side with a car alongside you, can't push them out onto the grass because there's a great big wall there, and you risk them cannoning off and coming into contact with your own car and destroying your own race. As Edmondson, he's making moves well, Abbott's trying to make moves on him there, and nice little drag race along the back straight, and Van der Wittenborn, he's come off track. I say come off track, he's had an incident somewhere and retired to the pits. That's such a shame for him. Some great drives from him so far this season. That Mercedes looking like it's already carrying a bit of front end damage there, where he's obviously had a previous season. Oh no, I think he's almost like he's fallen asleep on the wheel there, as producer Sean just said, and he's carried straight on and stuck it straight into the wall there. Such a shame for him, but Padea's had an incident. He's tumbling down he's lost 2 places to Edmondson and Abbott. He's down to 6th place. We'll see if we can come back to that in a little bit, but these two guys, Jennings and Johnson, the 2 Marks, the 2 Ferraris, you can hardly separate these 2 guys. They've been battling, exchanging places all race long, and James Foster, who's been sat behind them, has not seemed to have found his way past. Let's check out what with Andres Padea and his Porsche. Let's see what happened to him. He's coming into turn 1. He's just outbraked himself there and kept going, and now going to try and perform Austin Powers' million-point turn to get that Porsche pointing in the right direction. But Foster's getting past Johnson here potentially. He's going to have the work to do, trying to run it around the outside. But no, no, you've got contact and it's into the wall. No, we've got cars everywhere. There's 3 cars caught up in that. We've got Johnson, Foster, and that looks like that was I'm not too sure. There was a Mercedes in there. Was it Matthew Struthers as well? Johnson's jumped to the pits, but that's such a shame for James Foster. He's sat waiting for other people to make mistakes. So we ride on board with Struthers. He just arrives at the scene of the accident and bang! The front end of that Mercedes has now got an extra ripple in the front bonnet of it, where he's connected with, I think it was Johnson there. Such a shame, and as we've seen such great clean racing up until now, but as we said before the show, all it takes is one little accident and you've got nowhere to go, and you can end up so easily getting involved in someone else's accident. There's in the Twitch chat, Dr. Pistonbroke says, whoops, 306 Rally says, crikey. No brakes there. So, Lavette and Lavette. Lamborghini versus Porsche, as Jones has managed to pull out a 1.7 second gap. He's really managed to get away from these 2 guys. They're all right on top of each other only a couple of laps ago. And this is where the Porsche has been really, really strong, is in that straight line. It's recorded the fastest top speed so far this race of 248 kilometers an hour, and he's going to be tucked up in the slipstream of Lavette's Lamborghini. If they head down to turn 1, you can see visibly that gap closing. He's going to show him, he's gone to the inside. And that's going to be the move done. Lavette didn't defend, and Lavette has got his Porsche through. Absolutely brilliant move from Lavette there to get that purple Porsche through. And now he's going to look to chase down the Lamborghini of Jones, who's 2 seconds up the road from him. So in the space of the starts-finish straight between the last corner and the first, he's already managed to pull out around about 0.6 seconds over these guys. But just seeing off track camera somewhere, Pimley's had a bit of an incident and come off track somewhere. We'll maybe check in. He's heading to the pits. He's heading down the start-finish straight now to turn 1. Let's see what happens. I think he should have been braked already, and nope, that's that car keeping going. And wait, he looks like he's driven. There's a due to the beauty of iRacing being a simulator. There's a magic little entrance to the pits there, and that's looked like what he's done, which is a bit of a strange one, really. He's driving really, really well, and expect him to maybe reverse the car and look to carry on, but he's up to go to the pits, which is a real shame for Ollie Pimley in his Ferrari. He's seen a great drive through him so far tonight. So we've got 10 minutes to go. Well, 10 minutes and 50 seconds. So that's going to be around probably about 9 laps left. With, can you believe it? Already 15 laps deep into this race, and what a race has it been so far. There's Badea here, obviously his earlier incident, carrying on at turn 1, just looking for a bit of a recovery drive. He's already caught it to the back of Edmondson's Ferrari, and if you're looking to make some moves on him, just having a little bit look down the field, Struthers and Davis is probably our next closest battle as they head. That's Davis. Davis going to the inside defensive, but just allowing Struthers through. Obviously, Struthers, on a bit of a recovery drive himself after getting caught up in that earlier incident. Hence the damage to the front end of that Mercedes. So we are now officially down to 10 minutes to go. So your order with 10 to go is Jones, his Lamborghini, followed by Lavette in his Porsche. Lepper, who's dropped from first down to third now in his Lamborghini. Shane Abbott, brilliant drive from him in his Ferrari up to 4th. Edmondson 5th. Badea 6th. Cox 7th. Jennings 8th. Turner 9th. Struthers 10th. Davis 11th. Jones 12th. Stout 13th. Williams 14th. Foster 15th. And Mark Johnson is buying the last spot on track at the moment, although he's a lap down currently. It's a shame for him, obviously, after that earlier incident where had to take it to the pits, as Badea just has a little bit of a up close and personal moment with the wall there, and doesn't seem to have affected him too much or slowed him down either, as he's chasing Edmondson down hard as they come round the turn 4, that is, and head down to TK Turn down Pine Avenue. Sound like a sat nav, really. But that's right, turn right down Seaside Way now. Which I run because so Seaside, obviously Long Beach being, funnily enough, by its name, and this straight's name being based by the sea. And Badea is going up the inside there. Now this is going to, if he can keep the car alongside, this is going to give him the inside line into the last turn. But it looks like he's just backed out of it. He's going to maybe run a late apex. Very different lines from the two of them here, and Badea just looking to get the later apex to really maximise the straight line speed coming off the turn, just trying to get the car as straight as possible so you can try and get as early onto the frost pool as possible. But Lavette's managed to catch right up onto the back of Jones. So I don't know if Jones has had a bit of an issue somewhere. His car's looking very, very straight, and Lever's also joined them for the fight. And we're now back to the three-way battle for the lead. So Lavette's still got the highest top speed recorded. Obviously, Lever's managed to close that gap up to him. Obviously, being tucked in the Lever in the background there, just drifting that Lamborghini as they enter into Seaside Way, and doing well to keep it out of the wall there. As I think this is where this could see. It's all about just getting the best exit possible of this last corner, and Lavette's gone for the later apex in that shallower line, and we've seen that Porsche's got absolutely brilliant straight line speed. He's recorded 14 kilometers an hour higher on the start-finish straight than what Jones has. Could this be the move down into turn one? I think he's going to be a little bit too far back. But Lavette, we've seen he's great on the brakes in that Porsche. And he's just a little bit too far behind, but that gap is closing all the time. You see visually now these three cars right on top of them. I see in the distance somewhere there's one of the back markers that they're coming up towards. Let's see if we can just check it. So that is James Foster, who was P5 at one point, but as obviously after the earlier incident where he had that coming together on the entrance to Seaside Way, he's tumbled down the order. It's such a shame for James Foster. He's just biding his time, obviously, waiting for other drivers to make a mistake and then end up getting caught up in one of them. I know he's going to be absolutely gutted about that. And let's see how Lavette just gets on with these last couple of corners. Jones is just so strong through that middle section of the track. He's absolutely dominating it. Spot the massive straight line speed differential between himself and Lavette and Lever behind him. He's just able to pull out enough of a gap just to keep them at bay along the start-finish straight. But here comes Lavette. I think he's going to be too far back again, potentially. He's really trying to break the traction, and it's getting closer every single lap here. It's Lavette just closes up that gap to around about 3 tenths. He was around about 4 tenths last time around, so he's just aching, literally clawing his way closer. They've got 5 minutes to go, which is going to be round about 4 laps left to go for him to try and pass. Well, if he's going to claw back at that sort of level, he's going to struggle to get the past him. Obviously, as we mentioned earlier, it's so hard to pass it around Long Beach here, which is why we've seen, you know, some of the drivers go for the high top speed, low downforce setup. So, oh no, he's contacting the wall. Jones just clipped the wall on the exit, and this is Lavette's chance now. The gap's down to under a 10. Jones has gone defensive. He's gone to the inside. Can Lavette run around the outside? Let's see. Just hold tight. Here we go. They're still side by side as they enter. The tyres part lopeless contact. That was contact. I think it was maybe a little bit of net code there, and that's just allowed Lavette to get past. And Jones is going to really struggle now where he's got that lower top speed in that Lamborghini. But Lever just behind him, just a little bit too far back to be able to capitalise on these two, slowing each other up and being all over the back. And Lavette is now risen 4 places. And with 4 minutes to go, crossing the start-finish line is now your P1. He's look at that, already half a second just in the space of the start-finish straight. Damien Lavette has managed to pull out absolutely brilliant, and along the just cutting across the guys in chat, everyone's Al Neil, IRQK, Dan, Damien G, all saying, what a great move. And it was absolutely textbook move, just used his car to position Jones to where he wanted him, to allow him to get alongside, and then just if we knew he could get it up the inside, then the straight line speed of that Porsche 911 GT3, it's just always going to dominate. So he's right on board with Andrew Jones now. He's, for a change, he's not looking in his mirrors at the purple Porsche Lavette. He's now looking out his front window of it, and he'd be so disappointed after getting the move done on Alan Lever earlier in the race. Probably thought, you know, just if you can stroke it home and maintain us up. Oh, Lavette just seems to be running a little bit wide there, but just going for the wider later apex to allow him just to launch off that last corner. He's running around about, just looking at the top speeds now, running I think maximum speed is around about 7 or 8 kilometers an hour difference between these two guys. And he's not, look at it, he's pulled out 8 tenths now, so an extra 3 tenths on that lap last time around. And I think this could be Jones now. Could be a struggle for him to catch Lavette. He's going to watch him catch up in the infield, and I think this is now Lavette's race to lose with 2.5 minutes left to go. So that's going to be around about 2 laps, roughly. And I think there's a struggle to see whether Jones is going to be able to have a chance to be able to pull it back to him. We've seen, you know, obviously where he's running the higher downforce and a much more stable car that he's great in the infield section, but that's not where you can get the overtaking moves done. It's all about that start-finish straight and that long drag down to turn 1. So, but it looks like Levette's just dropped off the back of them a little bit. That's James Foster in his Audi just running very, very wide, and they've also got Stuart Williams in his Porsche as well. So as they encounter back markers, we'll see how they get on. But Peter Cox now, he's still harassing the back of Matt Edmondson's Ferrari and not being able to find a way past yet. These guys running to, well, actually no, I lie. Cox last time around recorded 11 kilometers an hour difference higher on the start-finish straight, and it's looking at Richard Jones has come off the track somewhere. Let's take a look what happened. Comes along Seaside Way, hard onto the brakes into Firestone turn, and just getting the rear end a little bit too loose, taking a little bit too much curb, and round that Lamborghini went. So, and while we were watching that, look, Andrew Jones just getting all over the back of Lavette as they were trying to clear Stuart Williams' portion as won the back markers. You see that pink Audi in front of him. That is James Foster down in 14th place. But here comes Andrew Jones. He's really, oh no, that's that contact. Was that contact with Lavette? And Lavette. But look who's back in the lead, it's Alan Lavette. He's been gifted it with 30 seconds left to go. They're going to have to go around another lap. They'll be taking the white flag this time around. But now because of that contact, Lavette dropped all the way back down. And it was not unlike even Jones could capitalise on that move, because as he came around the corner, Lavette was blocking the track for him. So he slipped behind from Lavette's rear wing. Let's just take a little look. Was there a touch? Oh, there you go. A thump from the front end of that Lamborghini into the rear end of Lavette's Porsche. And that was what looked like almost a bit of a certain win. And it was well, we called it earlier, but it was his race to lose. And it looks like the curse of the commentator strikes again. I'm sorry, Damien. I'm really sorry, mate. And this gifted Alan Lavette, who's elevating himself from the bottom run of the podium all the way up to the top as Peter Cox there, throwing absolutely everything at Matt Edmondson here. He's throwing that the front end of that BMW, the kitchen sink, absolutely everything at him. As they just enter into, they're coming along Pine Avenue now, around about halfway round the track, and they've got this Alan Levis just running. I'm just keeping on him. He's around the last few corners. It looks like he's going to be the guy to take the winning the checker flag. But here we go. He is. Let's not leave this battle. Here comes Peter Cox. He's gone. But Edmondson, he's run the car a little bit wide where he's worried about Cox. But I think this is good. I don't see a way for pass for Cox now. It's going to come down to who gets what exit. Can Edmondson keep it out of the wall? He has. Oh, Peter Cox really giving it everything, getting really hard onto the loud pedal and not being able to find a way past. Wow, what a race. So your winner is Alan Lavette. Second place in his Porsche is Damien Lavette. Such a lucky Damien Lavette. Followed by Andrew Jones's Lamborghini in third. Shane Abbott, brilliant drive from him, at 4 places, comes in 4th place. Andres Badea in 5th place. Matt Edmondson has managed to somehow hold off the charging Peter Cox, who comes in 7th place, another 4 places. Mark Jennings has finished in 8th. Joe Turner McMillan is brought his Lamborghini home in 9th. Matthew Strivers, obviously after that unlucky coming together early on the race as they entered onto Seaside Way. And he's managed to get his Mercedes home in the top 10 to get the last of the top 10 places. We've got Richard Jones 11th, John Davis 12th, James Foster 14th, Paul Stout 14th, Stuart Williams, good drive from him, up 2 places into 15th. Mark Johnson, a lucky Mark Johnson, down 7 places in 16th. Ollie Pimley, another driver of Ferrari, is unlucky, down in 17th. David Contos, BMW, down 14 places. He'll be brewing that one into 18th. And Finn van der Weertenboer bring up the rear of the field in 19th place. Obviously, being 13 laps down after his earlier incident. And wow, what a race! I don't know what you thought about that, Jats. First few laps were remarkably clean and uneventful. I was really, really surprised by that. And it just all of a sudden, as drivers became frustrated, getting stuck behind others, and they just end up, trying things maybe you wouldn't necessarily change, but the frustration kicking in. Domotron saying that David Contos, his router went down, hence why he carried on. That's so gutting. I know all of our drivers, a lot of them put in so many laps of practice and to ensure, that they're really competitive, and to have all that hard work undone by a hardware issue. It's such soul destroying. I think a lot of the sim racers who out experience that, it's just such a soul destroying moment. I see that. So, how does that affect the championships? Well, Andres Badea still out on top on 86 points. Price is 4 places up to second with now on 70 points. Mark Edmondson's Ferrari, he's in third, down 1 place. Shane Abbott up 5 places. Andrew Jones, Lamborghini up 12. Mark Jennings in 6th. Andrew Lever climbs a massive 38 places into 7th place. And there we go. There we go. Wow. Let's see. I don't know about you, chat, but what's your expectations for the next race? Do you think there's going to be much carnage? We've seen prior that a lot of our drivers within the top category do like to get their elbows out at times, and we saw it last season with the pro and the pro-ams versus the am and the rookie category. That the pro and pro-ams are just they're a lot more competitive and unforgiving, shall we say? That's probably a polite way of putting it. And we did see a bit more contact from them where they're just racing so much harder, whereas the am and rookie guys from last season were a little bit more forgiving to one another and didn't experience so much contact. But I think it's definitely going to be a really, really interesting one to see how this pans out. I mean, as we've seen, we mentioned before the show that the last turn and turn one, sorry, the what's it called? The fountain were the places to keep one eye on in terms of action. And wow, they definitely delivered. But also, it was very interesting. Obviously the along Seaside Way. So that's turn. So what would be 6 and at the start of Seaside Way into Firestone turn, which is about turn 7. Um, Tons of action along there. Absolutely tons of action along there. So I think we're definitely going to be in for a great race ahead. Now I'm hoping your friend of mine. Oh no, I think he's just having one to just grabbing one last minute drink before he comes and joins myself in the commentary booth. And James Parfitt will be joining us shortly. And I know he's been racing radicals tonight. Now, obviously coming up on. Oh, there he is, the man himself. How are you doing? Oh wow! I think welcome. I'm welcome to have a bit of relief, so I can take a sip of my drink. Just able to draw breath after that last race.
Yeah, I saw our poor Damien Lavette get a
Oh,
little bit hit out, didn't he? Bless him.
he did. So unlucky. It was. Well, you know what we're like. Whenever we say, "Oh, I think so and so is going to do really well," and normally they end up having some sort of incident. While I foolishly mentioned that it was his race to lose almost, and through no fault of his own. Let's be honest. Yeah, that coming together with Andrew Jones, it just absolutely caught him out. Unfortunately, so unlucky for him.
Mm. It always is tough though when you get to the end of the race, Tim, isn't it? When you get to the end of the
It
race and
is.
something like that happens, you do get, it's a little bit tough. But he done well. He recovered well. Finished second. You know, he
Yeah,
should be happy.
he did. He definitely did, and I think I think actually, while I see his name here, we need to make a little bit of apologies. So, last week in the feature race, which we're just about to head across to shortly, so stay tuned to the channel. That'll be with us in about 10 minutes time. Mr. Jake Charrell had a lot of that camera action, but Jake, apologies, mate. We kept calling you Jack due to slight issue on our timing sheets where you were listed as Jack. And yeah, so apologies to you. I know he's back tonight again and be mixing up in the action, and sure he'll be hoping for another great race like Imola. Now, just having a bit of a look through the chat, James. Al Neil saying about all the traffic. You know, as we sort of mentioned previously, the trouble is with Long Beach is it's so hard to overtake around here that if you get stuck behind someone, that especially someone that you know that you're quicker than, it's just so frustrating. And I think maybe that's where we start to see rash moves that maybe you wouldn't quite make normally come into play.
It's, to be honest, Tim, it's that patience thing, isn't it? You're only going to
It
have
is.
patience for so long, and as the great Ayrton Senna said, when you stop going for a gap, you might as well give up racing. And so many drivers are going to go for that gap. After a couple of laps behind the same car, you're going to end up losing it and just sending it out the inside and hoping for the best. I think it just gets to that point, doesn't it? Really. And I think, you know, they've just got to be patient. But it is tough round here, mate. There's not a lot. Toyota corner, fountain. It's all going to be, it's just going to be chaotic. Hopefully we won't end up with a car park like I saw in one of the GT3 races at Monaco, where one of them crashed, went across the track, and there was about 15 cars just stopped behind it.
That was Macau, mate. Funnily enough, I mentioned that one earlier on. Yeah, I think it was around about 2018, the Macau Grand Prix. Actually, it might have even been earlier than that. Might have even been 16. And yeah, one of the there was a slight tap, and one of the Porsches lost it into the last but one corner, and where it's likewise with Long Beach, it's so tight around that last sort of couple of corners, and the car was sideways, and all of a sudden you had lots of GT3 cars having, hitting, one after another and formed a massive car park. And I think there was only literally 4 cars that managed to make it through. So hopefully, touch lots of wood, we should be okay.
Well, that's all we can do, isn't it?
We can do. Now, is that going to be the curse of the commentators and someone's going to lose it? I mean, we witness car park? I don't know. Luckily, it's not pay and display here, so they'll get away with that for drivers. But yeah, let's hope there's none of that, because then it's not as enjoyable for, obviously, the guys who get caught up in the accident, especially where there's no runoff here, so it's so easy, as we saw earlier. Before you would have maybe got a chance to catch it, Matthew Struthers and James Foster so unlucky, just getting caught up in other people's accidents, where they were sat there, minding their own business behind people, in front of them having a fight, and yeah, just ended up getting caught up and really affecting their races. So it's just so tricky to know what to do for the best, really, around Long Beach.
Patience, and that's all I can
James,
say.
these are racing drivers. I know the great Raw Bent said, although the cars aren't real, the racing is, and which is so true. But I think patience isn't something that you tend to have in a race car so much, especially, like we say, when you hold up behind someone and there's no places to overtake hardly. Realistically, we've got maybe 2 places to overtake around Long Beach. It's a Toyota, as you mentioned previously, and obviously Firestone, and we saw in the last race. So
I wouldn't go to Cape Turn. Maybe you might have a go, but only if you're really brave and you're sensible, and the other driver is allowing you to go through, should we say?
Yes.
Other than that, as you say, there's two safe places, 3 if you've got your foot on the accelerator and the other car moves out of the way, should we say? You know what I mean? So,
knowing these guys, there won't be any moving out of the way.
No, we let's not hope we get a car park. especially around Toyota Corner and around the fountain. And let's just hope we get nice, clean racing.
Yeah, I think
I
I think, you know, I'm sure like the chat as well, you know, the guys, everyone in the chat, that, you know, we don't mind a bit of door banging. It happens. Being GT3s as well, you know, that you can take a bit of rough and tumble, you know, to an extent, without. It's not like the Formula cars, you know, the F3 where you just have to remotely look at, someone else and it breaks the suspension. You know, these cars can take a little bit of door banging. You know, you can lose your wing mirrors. It doesn't matter too much. But wow, I think we're about to probably find out shortly. So, we'll just to cover the formats for the next race. So, the drivers currently out on their practice. Then they're just starting to take to qualifying. We'll start to pick that up shortly on screen for you guys watching at home. Then we've got obviously a quick little warm up between sessions of 5 minutes, and then 32 laps of excitement and drama, I'm sure. Now, James, we saw it earlier on.
For the drama. Let's have the excitement. Let's stay away from the drama, guys.
More excitement, less drama.
No drama.
James, now, we saw in the earlier race that some of the drivers opted for a lower downforce setup in the hope that, you know, that's where, knowing, you know, the straights is where you're going to be able to get past people. Didn't always work out quite as well as probably they had hoped for. However, you know, some of them also opted for more higher downforce parts to make the car more stable during the, you know, for everywhere else on track. What option would you go with?
Right. Okay.
Would you go low downforce, knowing that you got a chance to really, you know, make up a bit of time and get ahead, or use it as a defense tool as well along the straights? Or would you go for a more stable car on the infield that's not so quick on the start-finish straight, and also along seaside way, and you can maybe leave yourself a little bit vulnerable, but hope you could try and make up some time around the twisty bits?
I would go for the downforce. I've got to be honest. If you can get through Toyota cleanly, Indy left, down into the hairpin and out the other side more comfortably, should we say, than the person behind, I reckon you'll do well on the straight. I reckon it's all about getting through that infield cleanly, not making any silly mistakes, and having that grip there to be able to get round there, get out the other side, done. That's my philosophy, but I'm not a great GT driver, so
no, you're more of a radical guy, aren't you?
I'm definitely more of a radical guy, and also I've been doing the Dallara P217. I've got to be interested. That's a very exciting car.
Yeah, I do enjoy that one as well. It's a nice sort of mix between GT and Formula almost, where you've got the downforce, but you can have a little bit of rough and tumble with it. And I've ironically recently I had a little tryout in the LMP1 cars, both the Porsche and the Audi, and wow, they are some complicated cars. And I think just for myself, I'll be sticking more down to the GT end of things, where there's a lot less to try and have a play around with and try and break. Now, it was obviously during last week's Charlotte 6-hour. It was 4-hour event. It was announced obviously the rain will be coming to iRacing, which is a completely the worst unkept secret going. I think it's been rumoured for quite a while, and they've shown whereabouts they're up to. I think. Could you imagine just trying to mix together Long Beach and a wet track?
Dude, to be honest, right, that's literally on the verge of somebody's nightmare. Because the rain, Long Beach, and then you bring in the mix of competitive drivers. It's only going to go one way, isn't it? I think rain in iRacing in general has been long overdue, right? I get that, and I think it should come in a long, long time ago.
I think so.
And the time lapse and everything else. I think they should have done this a long time ago. That one side of the track might be dry, the other side might be damp, so you got to play with it and stuff like that. And obviously you got the weather changes where one side's hot and the other side's going to be cold, or whatever. The racing line's going to be hot, the marbles are going to be cold, and you're going to be slipping around all over the place, right? my fear, okay, is if you come in as a new player and you go straight into rookie as a new driver, right? Are they going to bring rain across all license classes, or are they going to keep it to the higher ones? Because if you're in rookie, anybody that's been to rookie, especially in chat,
No, that's a good point, that.
you can't get out of it comfortably, okay? Unless you do this whole thing where you start from the pitch, you poodle around at the back, you get your SR up, you get your I up, you lose IR, whatever.
Yeah,
how
the
are they
perennial
going to
meme that
cope?
is that.
Yeah, how are they going to cope in the rain? How is that going to work? Because that is going to be chaotic, especially if you get the drivers, and we've all met them, that are just you're turning into a banger car oval. You know what I mean? How are they going to do that?
Namely, people who tend to be either Iberian or have a Red Bull livery, or the worst combination on the world, both.
Let's not, you know,
not stereotypes, but it's I think the Iberians do tend to like to get their elbows out more than any other nationality on iRacing.
That's the problem, isn't it? How are they going to cope with that rain? How is that going to go? That's just going to be chaotic. You're never, if you've come in now and you've hit rain in your first rookie race, say at Oran Park, it's going to be a different world to driving dry, isn't it? You're going to have a great issue trying to get out of rookies. And I personally think they should regulate the fact that A, B, C maybe will get the rain. D, rookies, give them a chance to get out, let them get experience, and then hit them with a rain-filled track. Personally.
Now, chat, I don't know what your feelings are about rain and iRacing and what it might bring. It would be great to get your comments right now, just while we're in this little intermission break period. El Neil, I need to apologise. He's put in the Twitch chat, how dare you not mention Charlotte 4 Hour without mentioning that me and Damien won it. Yeah, apologies about that one, mate. I did miss that little key point there.
Well, congratulations for winning it, El Neil.
Yes.
Well done.
Congratulations. And Lewis Dykes, thank you for coming in with the follow there on Twitch. Oh, I better catch up on these quick. Chris YCSC, I am Legend Doge. Man, sounds like a bit of a Bitcoin trader there. Thank you for coming in with your follows. Fabio Bino, I've butchered your name there, definitely, but thank you for your follow. Also, well worth mentioning, thank you to the guys at trapcams22.com who allow us to use their camera angles to bring this great footage and how to add a bit more of interesting point to the action and view it.
Right, Tim, hold on. Dan, rain should be in every race at the start because then maybe people will race more carefully in dry.
Do you know what? That's a fair comment. That is a fair comment, Dan.
I can't see it if you're at a track like Spa and you're going up through Rouge and you're hurtling through in the dry. You hit rain, you're still gonna hurtle through because you think you can. I just can't see the lower ranks loving the rain.
This is where it's tricky. What then does it invoke actual better driving because you learn at the better skills? And Budget Racing Noob said in Twitch chat, it can rain now the short race is finished. Well, that's fair enough. Yeah, let's see how the pros get on with it. So, but I don't know. I mean, do they implement it into more safer tracks? Maybe, somewhere that's got plenty of runoff that's maybe a bit easier. Let's say. So IR UK Dan also says it needs to. They're racing on the surface of the sun here. Oh, that's obviously all about it raining. El Neil said nobody will love the rain. Everyone will complain whenever there's a rain session. It's ironic, really, isn't it? Because everyone's like, every other sim game or SimK game, you look even down to the likes of Forza Horizon that has weather dynamics in it. You have snow, wet, rain. Project Cars 2, you can have it in thunderstorms with puddles, all over the track, and makes it really, really interesting. But is it going to be a case of, like they were saying that, where everyone's demanded it and said, iRacing needs it, and then everyone actually ends up hating it. And the participation drops on, if they say, like, okay, this week, let's say hypothetically, GT3's at Long Beach because it makes it relevant. In the official session, it's going to be a rain session. Now, does that then? I mean, Long Beach is a bit of a enigma anyway because it's a bit of a lower participation due to being harder to drive because of the walls, etc., and being potentially a little bit of a crash fest at times.
I love
Be
Dan's
interesting to
comment
see.
in chat. If we do get rain, can we have a wee emoji for people that go flying off?
Oh, brilliant!
Absolutely epic. Everything would be. I think that would be absolutely epic if we had a wee emoji just by going straight off. That'd be funny.
Oh dear. So the drivers there just finishing off their qualifying now, and currently on topping the timesheets is Mr. Paul Busby in his Porsche with a 1 minute 18.7. Oh, absolutely stunning lap from him. Of course, he's followed by Dom Roberts and Nathan Willoughby, who, James, I'm going to get you to avoid his name after you said what you said about him at Snefton. He goes McLaren all the way up on 3rd place, second row on the grid. Brilliant drive from him. Keith McKenna, Tom Tennant, 2 Porsche drivers taking up 4th and 5th. James Armstrong's Mercedes 6th. Alberto Gravilli in 7th in his Porsche. Cy Anthony's Porsche 8th. 9th, Jonathan Hitchin and in his Ferrari, and Charlie Bebb taking the last of the top 10 in his BMW currently. Just having a little bit of a look down the sheets. Dom Roberts has got a couple of laps to take. So has Alberto Gravilli. Just having a quick look at Tim Darracott now in his Mercedes, thundering around without the grumbly V8. And wow, it looks like the Porsche is ever dominant yet again here in the league.
Are we? Okay, so technically,
get your words out, James. Come on, boy.
I'm trying. I'm just trying to figure out how to put it. Are we going to pick race winners? Because I've not had a great track record with this. I'm not gonna lie.
Though normally something happens to the people who we pick, so I think it's probably safer for them if we don't pick anyone. I think.
I agree.
I think that's just safer.
El Neil's put James is spending too much time in those LMP ones. Well, to be fair, I'm not going to lie. I am loving the LMPs on Road Atlanta at the moment.
No, he's not about James Armstrong. James, he's funnily he races within the team, and yeah, they does lots of LMP1 drives. And funnily enough, I was caught in by pure accident the other day. I was watching cuts of, you know what it's like. Late at night, thought, I'll just have a flick, see who's driving what. Oh, there's Rob Armstrong having a little bit of a love-making session with the pit wall there. And yeah, just watching, some guys random streaming on Twitch, a bit of iRacing as we watch Rob Armstrong, his father there, have his little moment there with the pit wall. And yeah, all of a sudden this LMP, there's Chris Edderford there, just finding the tyre wall there. Yeah, and then all of a sudden this LMP1 comes streaming past at a breakneck speed of knots, and yeah, it was James Armstrong, funnily enough, which is a bit of a bizarre one. So yeah, we just let's see how Tim Garrett's got clips on James. He's currently down in 13th, and let's see if he can try and improve on his lap currently. So out on track, he's just coming around the last part. He's just coming into the final hairpin now.
Coming down Shoreline Drive, yeah?
No, he's passed.
No,
he's just about to finish the lap. He's on the start finish straight. Let's see where he goes. So currently 13th on 119.8.
Still the same position. 13th,
still the same position.
Didn't
went slower by 4 tenths. Alberto Gravilli just improved his time to 19.24. Dom Roberts has just got the fastest 3rd sector. Wow, as he slides that Porsche in here into the last sections. Let's see how he gets on. He needs to improve by 900ths of a second. Not to Paul Busby, and he clinches it, the pole at the last depth there. Dom Roberts, he got set PB in sector 1 and best sector of sector 3. IRQ UK Dad say flying lap by Dom, and wow, what a flying lap by him.
I love how Neil's corrected. James P is spending too much time in number 2.
Yes, just for a little clarity.
Yeah, just to clarify that.
Just clarify, yeah. Got all
Me and
excited.
Road Atlanta have had a lot of laps this week.
Nice. Oh, it's much Tim Darracott drifted out on the last corner there, that Mercedes. Let's have a little look, see if he improves, and no, goes slightly slower. Oh, no, he does, sorry, no. Took a little while for my timing screen to update. He's up 1 place ahead of Nick Print in the BMW, rises up to 12th place as just watch Chris Edford complete his last lap. So Chris, you're running very close to the wall there, mate. I think that's probably got to be at least be a 0x. Wow, he's using, I would say all of the track and more, but you can't use more of the track because there's a great big wall there. So, yeah, he's getting very up close and personal to these walls, James.
Yeah, that's the end, isn't it? But I think the thing is, it's annoying on that. I've got to be honest, because when you get so close to a wall and you get a 0x, you may not physically touch the wall, but you may get net coded, or you just sit there and you just look up and you just see it 0x, and that's your lap done in qualifying.
It is,
isn't it? Which is really quite a frustrating way to lose your qualifying lap time with a 0x.
It is. It is. It's so. It's just so frustrating, isn't it? So the drivers just taking up for their 5-minute warm-up now ahead of the green lights and green flag. As everyone streams out the pits. Wow, I just love all the. This is what I love about GT3s. The different sounds you've got going on. The flat 6 of the Porsche, V8 of Mercedes, but it sounds completely different to the V8 of Mercedes and BMW. You got the V10s, the Audis and the Lamborghinis all thundering past. There's Charlie Bebb having a nice little drift there, coming out the corner. And wow, what a sight this is! This is why we're good racing.
Yeah, look at that. Oh.
I know ASMR is the massive thing at the moment, but for me, this just does it. I can just sit there, you know, just listen to them all thunder past, going one after another. You know, don't need any of the weird stuff that you see currently being banded around. Sure, that's me mentioning. You know, especially on Twitch, with a bit of ear licking and all those weird new microphones. Just all you need. It's just a set of GT3s streaming past, and that just constantly going up in your ears.
Hold on, can I just clarify? So did you just say ear licking?
Oh yes, yes, it is the new thing, as producer Sean just said. Yeah, it's the in thing. They even have special microphones built like ears. It's weird and messed up, and yeah, I think that is. And they're all at it. And Al Lim says hot tub GT3s. Well, I don't think you want to see us in a hot tub, Al. I think that is one great way to lose your fan base here on iRacing UK. Is producer Sean just made a lovely comment of hot tub and Scalextrics. Let's see how many viewers that gets on Twitch. Wow, especially mixing electricity and water. No, that's. Oh, yeah, I'm coming with you, mate. I've got as well. So yeah, next week we're ditching Porsche Cup off, and it's be Scalextrics and hot tub. No. Yeah. Oh, that's lovely thought there. Well, we've mentioned on other broadcasts, obviously next week is, I think they're round 5, or is it even round 6 now? I've lost track of Porsche Cup. So some great action from those guys. And Tuesday night, I think it is round 5, isn't it? Yeah, it's Long Beach. That'll be fun as see those guys return. And also Tuesday, we've got F3s. I'm referring Chris Rowland to be in the commentary booth for that one. There's a league hot set for that. So yeah, some more great action here on iRacing UK Twitch and YouTube. So stay tuned for those ones. And I'm still trying to erase the image of us in hot box with electric out of my memory bank. That one's going to sit with me for a little bit longer. But,
will you be making the noises though, Tim? Will you go?
Oh, can you remember that F1 race? It was Kota, and about 2 years ago, well, 4 fans got, obviously because of COVID, got sent away. And there was a guy stood next to the microphone going, next to it, and they had to turn the microphone off and move him as the Porsche's having a little bit of a kiss with the wall there.
Yeah, I saw that as well. It was so funny though. You gotta think though, you're there for racing, aren't you? If you're gonna find something like that, you know, it's an open mic, isn't it? Sticking out of a hole somewhere that you're just gonna walk up and stand next to. You've got to do it.
I'm not sure about this. My mind there, and yeah, I'm not
Steady.
Especially, I'm just reading Menzies' comment of Tim could start an ASMR channel. Well, yeah, I think I would put the only fan in. You would be my only fan on OnlyFans, Ben. I think if that was to happen.
Can we get a poll in Twitch chat to see if they all want to do Tim in a hot tub?
And see just how many people say no. I think I've already been. I think I've already been stitched up once by Chris Rowland making me sing during the Porsche Cup coverage. So yeah, I don't think I need to get stitched up by that one.
It's for the viewers.
For the viewers.
Yeah, it's not for our own.
Right. Here's a grid. James, do you want one of your perennial infamous speed read-throughs? Ready, set, go.
Right, so in first place we got Don Roberts, Paul Busby in second, Nathan Willoughby third, Kiefer McKenna fourth, Tom Tennant fifth, Alberto Greeley sixth, James Armstrong seventh, Cy Anthony eighth, Jonathan Hitchin ninth, Charlie Bebb 10th, Jake Cherrell, sorry, in 11th, Tim Darracott in 12th, N.I. Print in 13, Matt Cox 14, Chris Hitchin 15, William Brown, Hill, Hyde, Norcutt, bring up the top 20, Pratt 21st, Cullen 22nd, Murray Luca 23rd, Morgan Driscoll 24th, Stephen Muskers 25th, Edisford, Holst, Stonehouse, Wynn and Gee round out the top 30, Bacon, Smith, Stout, Rob Armstrong and Trevor Davis 35, Stephen Hughes 36. Oh,
and that's a lot. That makes a change from the usual 50-odd drivers have to try and rattle your way through, and yeah, so drivers just head off on their parade route. I'll let you take a quick drink, mate, and recover after your one of your infamous speed read-throughs of our large grid that we always have here for the GT3s.
I thought it was going to be more, but it was only when I looked down and see 36.
I know. For once, someone wasn't disappointed by something being short. So, 306 Rally as Go Murray and Budget Racing Noobs side for the win as we get ready as they head across. We are green flag and we are go. Great start by Dom Roberts, really getting. Oh, there's been a crash before the race has even started down at turn 1. We'll see if we can try and cut back to that of what happened there as Roberts and Busby and Willoughby head down to turn 1. It looks like everyone's incredible. Kiefer McKenna there getting incredibly up close and personal with the tyre barrier. But look at Dom Roberts. He looks like he's kept his lead. If anything, he's pulling out and away from Paul Busby. Already 8/10 for the second. Dom, it's only been 4 corners. That's not good. Let's take a look. It's Darryl Norkett. Let's just enter the last bit, James. And I think he's the first person. Let's have a look. Constantine.
Oh, they literally just
bang,
swapped.
bang.
Oh,
no.
That was unlucky. They all just hit the brake and nobody went anywhere, did they?
It's Stephen Masters, and I think it's on the replay. I think is this actual? Yeah, this is before the race even started. Oh, there's a car literally inside one another there. A lovely bit of netcode there. But yeah, that looks like everyone's got relative safety. Here comes John Hitchin though. He's lost a place to Cy Anthony, I think. Cy Anthony, I think. No, yeah, Alberto Gravili's made up a couple. I think Cy Anthony's. Is he dropped 1 from the grid? I think. But look at the absolute stream of GT3s we've got. We saw the absolute recovery drive of the day. Well, not of the day, but of the month or year from John Hitchin last time was around. As he goes hard onto the brakes, and that's Cy Anthony for position. That's up to 8th place for him. Yeah, last time out at Imola, what a drive from Jonathan Hitchin.
No words, mate. No words. 38. Was it 34 or 38 places?
Oh,
insane.
Yeah. I think it's when you get that many, I think you're allowed to lose track. It was just so many places.
Insane, did so many.
It was. So we've got Alberto Grilli in his white and black Porsche, and he's got Armstrong right behind him for company in that Mercedes. We'll take a little look at Chris Hitchin. I believe he's just had a bit of an accident. Let's have a little look. There's the building in the way, don't have it. Well, the building, so he's in the Lamborghini at the front of this little train here. Oh, bobbles across the wall, and round he goes. I think he's managed to even keep that out of the wall there, James.
Yeah, I think he only just, mate. I think he was very close if he did manage to keep that out of it. It was all on his own, wasn't it? There was nobody else there. He just went straight round.
Yeah, it just caught those.
Armstrong, man. Armstrong's looking good.
Caught those stones, those curbs on the inside. But Netlick from Willoughby, your man there, he's under attack from Keith McKenna.
And McKenna was quick, bro, wasn't he? He was quick last week. I think he's going to be quick again.
We've seen all season long. He's been really quick. But yeah, Nathan Willoughby having this drive of the season so far. I thought third place currently, but he's been absolutely harassed by Keith McKenna. And I know he's been Nathan's been really quick, and officials for getting the McLaren really twitchy there. And McKenna just he's leaving all over the back of him.
I'm still through, really, Tim.
Yes.
He's got through. He's going to hold it now.
Here we go. Let's have a look. See what happened.
Oh, Gavili tapped the tyres, didn't he?
He did.
Gavili tapped the tyres and left the door open for Armstrong now.
Yeah, Armstrong saying thank you very much. I don't need telling twice. And Nathan Willoughby being pushed and absolute max. The only McLaren in the field, and really right in amongst the Porsches who've been dominant all season long. And look how close McKenna's getting under the brake in there, James.
This is poor old Nathan Williams. He's got to drive defensive for his life. He's got a train behind him as well. Look at the rubber cars behind him.
That is one long train right behind him. And
just shows him how good he is to keep that lot behind. And he's not even made a mistake, has he? He's still got McKenna behind him, climbing all over him, and there's Nathan just fooling around in his McLaren, keeping them all behind him. Awesome job.
Like he's out for a bit of a Sunday drive, and
maybe a little bit faster than a Mini going along the Cotswolds, right? But,
I think so, mate. I think so. And, wow, he's up in a little bit of rubber wall. And wow, McKenna's, look at him, he's absolutely swarming all over the back of that McLaren, and he can't find a way past.
Get through.
Well, maybe this is it. He's gone to the inside. Willoughby's going to have to defend around the outside. Whoa! Right, this is it. The long drive. He's got him. Nathan Willoughby. Wow! How did you defend that round the outside? But look, Tom Tennant's looking at a couple of slides. McKenna has gone from being on the attack to now being attacked. He's got Tom Tennant's Porsche right behind him. This is going to give Willoughby a little bit of a breathing space and allow to maybe get away a little bit. It's just up front ahead of them. Busby and Roberts saying, well, lapping around about a second quicker than Willoughby last time around. It's allowing these guys to get away as we ride on board with Tom Tennant. And let's have a look at Tom Thurett. That is James Armstrong right behind him. He's caught right up in his Mercedes, and while these guys battle, it's playing into his hand, James.
Oh, this is absolutely an insane start. We're 5 laps in already. Willoughby's driving for his life. Keeper's trying to get past him. We've got Tom Tennant's James Armstrong climbing all over the back.
They're climbing all over the curbs as well. And this is just wow. What a Tom Tennant has got front row tickets to the action going on in front of him. It's those two battle, go defensive, go on the attack, and just one way or the other. Just Kiefer McKenna just can't find a way past. But Jack Cheryl has he's been trading place with Charlie Bebb. We'll see if we can get a piece of that action on the replay shortly. As Paul Stout. Wow, this is live now though, James. Here we go. It's Jake Cheryl in that Porsche, that almost that Union Jack-esque, that red, blue and white, and Charlie Bebb's BMW. Right behind. Was that a little bit of a love tap there in the entrance to the hairpin?
Yeah. It may have exchanged paint a little bit.
Yeah, maybe a little bit of putting the name into. It's literally trading pace by name, trading pace by nature.
We've still got the exciting thing is we've still got Willoughby in front of McKenna. Willoughby's still driving out of his absolute skin in that McLaren. McKenna's got nothing.
Wow. He's got about, what, 6 cars? Oh, he's made a slight mistake there. This is McKenna's chance. Can he get something done? No, he's not quite close enough, James. Is he? He's got a massive... Nathan Willoughby's got a train of, what, how many cars behind him? He's got McKenna, 10 and Armstrong, Feely, Hitchen, Anthony. 6 cars behind him.
Yeah, 7 with himself.
And about 3.5 seconds covering from 3rd place all the way down to 9th, and no one can seem to find a way past. But look how far Busby is ahead of him. Willoughby's holding him. Yeah,
5 seconds they pulled out on these groups because they're battling.
They just allowed them to just get in some fresh air. You can see from the track map on the right-hand side of your screen, just the visual difference that the top 2 of Roberts and Busby have managed to pull out already. And the battle for 10th downwards looks like that's hotting up as well. That's Jake Sherrill, Derek Hott, Matt Cott. We'll put half an eye on that. Oh! This is getting closer and closer. Keith McKenna, well, look how close he's getting around the fountain, James.
Is he getting more and more frustrated though? He knows
he's got to be.
Away.
He's got to be.
He's got to stay calm. He's got to stay calm. He's got to know that he's got to get that place. But he's looking at the timing board. He must see that Robertson now 5 seconds in front of him.
He's got to be.
He's going to go. Look at this.
But Willoughby just is in cool as ice right now, and not making a single mistake. And I think this is what's going to define this race for these guys. It's going to be one minor little mistake that's going to cost someone dearly potentially. Chris Hitchens had a bit of an so he's gone for it. McKenna sets it up the inside. But this is going to allow, if McKenna can keep it alongside, it's going to give him the entrance to the hairpin alongside, but no, he's not.
Willoughby took the inside on the next corner though, didn't he?
He did, and it looks like he slowed it up on the apex of the corner as well, which has allowed him to...
from the other day in the Formula 1 where he slowed right down so Hamilton couldn't go anywhere.
Yeah, and it looks like he's used exactly the same tactics there to prevent McKenna from getting the run on him. But down in 12th pace, we've got Nick Print. Wow, some wheel to wheel with Charlie Bear. But look at even ahead of him, we've got Jake Sherrill, and there's another BMW here. That's the back marker just holding him up slightly, but it doesn't look like that bit was Damien G there, just holding him up ever so slightly. And well, I think this is where, especially if we get to the later laps, James, like back markers, I think that, especially with this train we've got here right now, the Willoughby train, this is what's going to potentially could play a little part in the story of how they clear the back markers. Can you get a bit tactical, maybe block someone in and utilise the back markers or prevent someone from passing you?
Well, you would, in an ideal world, you would look and see him where you're going to catch that back marker. If you're not going to catch him down the straight, but you know you'll catch him on the infield, it gives you the opportunity to slow him down and get the back marker and slow him down in front of him. But I don't know. Nathan Willoughby's got to be sensible, mate. He's either going to drive, you know, he's got to drive in that way where he's just got to take his lane, isn't it?
He has.
Now.
Yeah, he's right on the gearbox of Jacob High's Porsche, and Ben carrying, I think he's carrying a little bit of damage from the earlier concertina into turn 1 on the front left of that BMW. And as we come back to Willoughby, and well,
there's no look at this. Willoughby's driving out of his skin, Tim.
He is.
Absolutely out of his skin.
It looks like he's almost just slowing up on the apex where he knows that McKenna can't get past him, to prevent him from getting any sort of run, and just to try and back him up and make him think that, use Tom Tennant, who's currently down in 5th place and behind Kiefer McKenna, and just try and back him up into him. And he's having a good old go, isn't he?
He's got to be patient, and I don't know how long Kiefer's going to last patiently behind.
Oh, look how defensive Nathan Willoughby goes. He's not letting Kiefer McKenna through, and as he's rightly allowed to do so.
Yeah, he doesn't have to, does he? Well, he just needs McKenna to find the space, and if Willoughby's not giving it to him, then unfortunately, McKenna boy, you've got to find another way.
Oh, look,
You know,
it's
look at that. He slowed it down on the hairpin.
Yes.
Slowed it down on the hairpin and then floors it on the straight to get away. And by that time, McKenna can't get close enough to him on the straights to get past him.
no, he can't. I mean, look at that gap, 4/10 of a second, and a little bit surprised as well where Nathan Willoughby's created this train. That, you know, look at the names that are behind him. Obviously, we mentioned McKenna and Tennant, but you've got Armstrong, Gavelli, Hitchin, Anthony. Really, really strong drivers, and I'm surprised as just mowing some of the bushes there on the inside of the fountain, and I'm surprised that we haven't seen those guys close up and what a brilliant camera angle that is, and just you know, start attacking one another as Willoughby's making McKenna just making people work.
Yeah, if you've got somebody, Willoughby like that, holding the train up, where can you go, Tim? You're either going to put yourself in jeopardy by taking on another car, or you sit behind them, fuel safe for the pit stop, and try and jump them in the pit stop. There's nothing else that you can physically do. You're only going to put yourself.
Here we go. Oh, no. I thought he was going to go. No, Willoughby! Nathan, no! What tiny mistake. Just outbraked himself, but he thought McKenna was coming through, and it's just cost him nearly. It's cost him the place. But let's see what he can do. He's going to needs to keep calm and cool and collected and regather his thoughts. And
he's just got to do the same thing, Tim. The same thing he's done to McKenna, he has to do to Tennant. Because otherwise, and not try and make that same mistake again. Because he's got to keep calm.
He has.
Tennant's got Armstrong all over the back of him. He's got to be thinking about James Armstrong.
Well,
and he's got the opportunity to push away now. He's, you know, keep calm. Shows. Oh, there was a. Did you hear the clang? Was there a
no, I didn't hear anything, mate.
I thought there was a clash.
We had Bradley Holt had a bit of a coming together, I think, with the wall somewhere earlier on. But other than that, that was a couple of laps ago now. And wow, 11 laps gone already, 22 to go. Matt Cox down in 14th in his Porsche, and he's all over the back of the wow! Look at drifting Mercedes there. And this is going to allow Cox to get up inside. He has, but Darracott trying to get in the switch pipe, but it doesn't look like he's going to have quite enough grunt in that Mercedes V8. And Cox is going to go defensive, and I don't think that's going to be the move done, and he's going to be through now. No, Cox has raised the wall there, and this is going to allow Darracott to come back. That was so close.
They are on the edge, Tim. They are on the edge. You've got Matt Cox, Darracott trying to come back, coming down Bridgestone and Shoreline Drive. I just don't think he's going to get him. I don't think he's close enough.
All while this is going on, we've got Austin William Campbell's BMW. You can see him in the background, that white front end BMW. He'll be rubbing his hands together right now while these two are battling, because it's just allowing him to close up on these guys. He's up a place over his starting, up his position over his starting place, and yeah, be looking forward to these two keep battling, because hoping that either A, one of them has a big incident, or B, it just at least allows him to catch up. And wow, it's going to start with too early for pits, but it's probably time to start talking about it, James.
It's got, they've got, I don't know, mate.
Do you go undercut? Do you go overcut? Or what? I think we could see, especially in that, you know, the Willoughby train at the front. McKenna has pulled out quite a bit of a gap. It's about a second and a half.
Yeah. I can't see, the thing is, though, Tim, I can't see. We have this discussion pretty much every single race. Where is the gap if you're going to undercut? Where is the gap going to come from?
Wow.
That you're hoping to try and achieve. You've got nothing there. Look at the map. They're all over that map. There is not any time.
Well, this is the issue, as you could put it, with, you know, larger grid, you know, size fields, because especially on the shorter track, as Norkit's really on the attack of Morgan Driscoll, Red Ferrari, and this is the issue of these, you know, smaller tracks, that there is no fresh air. You know, Spa, you know, with a 36 car grid, you could probably pull out into some clean air, but here, especially where it's so hard to pass, as Cox, knocks the wall. Wow, how Matt Cox just keeping it together there. But now this is, has he got suspension damage? That car looks like the Porsche seems to have survived that. But it's...
Is he jumping around, or is that just my eyes there, Tim?
I'm not sure, but Darracott's definitely on the lights, flashing him and trying to unsettle him while he's in his moment of having a little bit of a crisis with the car and trying to ascertain whether is it damaged, is it okay, am I going to get killed at the next corner because of suspension issues? But Cox has just managed to hold him up.
I swear my eyes are going. But I thought he was up. It does not look healthy, Tim. I've got to be honest. He looked like
I mean, great.
At one point, he looked like he lifted up on 3 wheels.
It'd be good if we can get an on-board shot just to see along the straight what his steering wheel's doing. Now, Cox is literally every millimetre of the track.
Look at that, Tim. He's literally just look at the buddy up and coming into the corner.
And using the same practice Willoughby was doing earlier on Darracott by just slowing up. And, you know, great if we can get an on-board camera just to see is that steering wheel straight for Matt Cox? Has he got any steering damage at all? And there we go. Let's have a little look. It looks like he's pointing a little bit more to the right than he should be. Well, no, this is. Sorry, yeah, that's the accident. Oh, not too bad there. Bit of more of a grace with the wall, so that shouldn't affect the car too much. Hopefully, he should be okay with that one.
That was definitely bouncing.
It doesn't. Well, I think Darracott's Mercedes behind him looks like it's in far worse shape with that crumpled front end. And
still, Tim, still got Willoughby with Tannen behind him, and McKenna's opened up nearly coming up 3 seconds now. So
I think
goes to show.
Look at the names he's got behind him. I know we said about it a few laps ago. He's got some really strong drivers behind him. I think we are probably. You see them all, you know, bunched up majorly there, and they're all involved in the championship. And one place is where they're all so close at the top end of the championship. One place could make all the difference. Coming into the season, you know, we're into the second half of the season now. This is round 4, the 6-round championship. Every point counts, and they really, really need it. And I think maybe who's going to blink first out of this set? Because I think. They're all, you know, strong drivers, you know, especially you mentioned earlier with James Armstrong with his exploits in LMP1 and endurance, bringing a lot more of the tactics side into it. He's probably the most experienced of these guys. Having said that, likes of Gravelli and Hitchin and Anthony have all ran in endurance in GT3s as well. Lavette 24, I know Hitchin and Anthony were in the same team, and so they've. Yeah, I think there's going to be an element of tactics probably from these guys in drawing on that experience from endurance races of how they play this.
They've just got to for now, Tim. They've just got to follow. They can't do a lot else.
Hold on, a third place. Of course, my track map. Oh no, they were just moving incredibly slow. No. I thought, sorry, I was looking at the trap. Sorry, James, I was looking at the trap maps, and I thought McKenna had an issue because he seemed to be stuck on the last hairpin. I thought maybe he had a bit of an incident, but luckily he hasn't. Sorry, you carry on.
No, I will say though, McKenna is catching Busby.
Is he?
Drastically.
He is, isn't he? Ever so slowly.
Ever since. He's not losing time. He is definitely pulling them in. Yeah, it's subtle. It's not a lot, Tim. I'm not gonna lie, but he's definitely can see Busby, and I think he's he's going for it because. We saw McKenna in the last run, highly unlucky in the last race. I think he's going to be coming. I don't think it's going to be. I don't know if he'll catch him before the pit stops, but it'll be close in around the pit stops. Tim, I've got to be honest.
Just having a little bit of look at lap times. Just looking at so Dom Roberts. He's roughly he's got the 32nd place car in front of him is Damien G. Now looking at it, he's wrapping it around about 1.5 seconds quicker. The gap between those guys is around about 1:11, isn't it? So yeah. I don't think he's going to necessarily, bar an incident, he might catch him before the round of pit stops.
No, I don't think he's going to get him.
So it'll be interesting to see how that one plays out. I mean, just as well, does Dom Roberts bail before he gets to the back markers and run the risk of having to get past them?
Yeah, we've got Print coming up on Charlie
Bear.
again, same scenario, dude. They can all get close, but they just can't get past through that infield section.
Yeah, we saw Nick Print, incredibly strong driver. We saw, you know, his exploits in season 1 and 2, and some absolutely brilliant drive, especially in season 1 from him. And, yeah, finished really highly, and yeah, it just shows, you know. But then equally, Charlie Bebb is no slouch himself, and we've seen from the short race, sprint race earlier on tonight, that it is hard to pass around here, and where these drivers are so evenly matched, it makes it twice as hard to overtake.
And that's the thing, Tim. I think a lot of the time is how many can stay cool and not make the mistakes to let the other people through. We saw it with Nathan. He did so well holding up Kiefer. One little mistake, Kiefer went through. What has he got? A 5-second gap now, I think, down to Nathan. You know, and I think at the end of the day, it is who's going to be the cleanest. And it's showing here, Tim, because last week Hitchin, or the other 2 weeks ago, Hitchin had made up 34 places by the end of the race.
Yeah.
And he hasn't made that up, and that's a completely different track. The track has played a massive part, and they've all just got to follow because there's no way you can go.
Well, Imola's not exactly an easy track to overtake on itself.
No, Hitchin made it look easy, bro. But
Oh,
I think
he did.
This is a completely different kettle of fish, isn't it, compared to... Yeah.
It's like Producer Shaw just said in our ear, this is the Monaco of America. And
that's what I mean. It's going to be following. You've got to stay stationed until the pit stops, I think. You know, Charlie's just got to do his best to try and stay ahead of Nick until the rounder stops and then decide what he's going to do from there.
One battle I just said a bit of a clout somewhere, but well, not sure who that was, someone having a race with the wall. One battle I'd like to have a little look at is the Cullen, well, Producer just cut to it funnily enough. Ben Cullen going for an overtake. He's in a bit of an unconventional place there, Ben, and not normally a place where you'd overtake, but he's got Jacob Hyde, and look, he's Murray Luca running incredibly close in that Mercedes, but look, he's got Morgan Driscoll right behind him. He's now into the attack, and this is half the trouble, isn't it? You know, you go for an overtake, you know, you have to then compromise your corner exit, and that allows someone else to come in front of you. And we've got our first driver into the pits, William Campbell. He's come into the pits from 14th place, and first person to roll the dice on lap 19. Maybe a little bit early as we watched Print absolutely all over the back of them round the fountain yet again, as he seems to have been every lap.
Hey, Tim, we can't. Whether or not we call it early, he's either going to be very early, you know, he's either going to be early or he's going to be really smart, isn't it?
Colin wins.
Off and off.
Yeah, let's have a look. Let's have a look as we ride on board with him now to see what happened.
Down in 26th at the moment.
Oh!
Neil Smith.
That was the back of Neil Smith,
wasn't he?
Yeah. But while we watched that, Darracot's had a bit of an incident, James. Let's have a look. Let's have a look, see what happens. Hey, look, that bonnet already mangled from the earlier incidents, and let's have a look, see what happens there. Oh. Too much curb on the inside, but at least that bonnet is symmetrical now.
The V shape looks good, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think.
Very aerodynamic.
Well, I think it probably feels like sticking the V's up, but I think I can print them. Oh, that's oh, no, he's gone straight on. He's gone straight on. He got the move done with a slight bit of contact, but couldn't make the corner. And Print kept going, and oh, Nick Print, so unlucky from him.
Backed off, bro. Backed off, just let him go.
Yeah.
He touched it straight, didn't he? And then all of a sudden, Bev just
couldn't get the car slow.
He did a little hammer and then the corner son. He couldn't stop it before going around.
He said he'd had a crash on our telemetry twice, so I'm not too sure whether he made a further. I think it's just where he come off the track rather than actual contact with the wall. Now, Austin William Campbell in his BMW here, he was the first driver to make a stop, and he's making moves here. That's for position against Carrick Stonehouse, pink Ferrari. It's your man Willoughby here. He's
he's still going. Okay, he's still going. He's still in fourth. I'm not going to say anything because last time I did, he went off and made a mistake. Good job, Nate. Well done. Next.
Yeah, next. We got Cy Anthony. He's look at him. He's absolutely all over the back of Jonathan Hitchin, and one of the closest battles currently on track. Cy incredibly quick over one lap, absolutely teamed at hot lap in qualifying. Real monster, but he's guy in front of him, Hitchin, not exactly any slouch.
Darrell's all over the back of Neil Smith again.
This is
Neil Smith's gone wide. Darrell's gone through.
And then he held up Colin Wynn, who was just coming through in his Ferrari, but he's managed to at least keep that position. Let's check out on the replay exactly how this panned out.
He just went too fast, didn't he? Couldn't stop.
Yeah, trying to carry the momentum. Obviously, Darrell got on fresher tyres. He'd already made his pit stop.
Yeah.
Neil Smith currently on, 21 lap old tyres, which I know isn't necessarily the worst thing, but just take it out of it around here. But
still got Willoughby in front of Tennant, Tim.
Yeah,
still doing the same thing.
Yeah,
holding him up, accelerating out. Holding him up, accelerating out.
And he's got it. He's into the pit.
In.
The first of our front runners, and the first person to blink is Nathan Willoughby. Let's see where he comes out now. Looking at pit stop, roughly about 46 seconds. Now this is released to Tennant, and let's see how he gets on. The quickest stop is 46.3 seconds. So let's see how long.
Tim, look at the gap. Look at the gap on the track map between 19th and 20th.
Wow, that's where you
want to be.
Willoughby's
timed right, that's where you want to come out.
Yeah, just in front of 20th place, which is currently Chris Edisford. Here he comes. He's coming out. Look at that.
There's that gap. Look, between 17th and 20th.
He's going to have timed this eventually. Absolutely, perfectly.
Good job, son. There you go.
Brilliant. Brilliant.
And right in that gap, didn't he?
Not the quickest stop, but there's been an incident between Bacon and Hitchin. Let's take a look and see what happened here. Bacon's coming through. He's all by himself here. Hitchin's in the Lamborghini in front of him, getting slow off the exit.
Oh, come on.
Bacon, Brister, carrying too much momentum through the corner there.
I think the thing is, you had Wynn in front, didn't you? Wynn slowed down.
Oh, Dom Roberts is in. Sorry, cross you, James. Dom Roberts is in, and also Tennant as well. Now let's keep an eye on Nathan Willoughby in 70. Hold on, he's dropped down the time. He's 18th. He was 17th. He's dropped to 18th.
No, he's 15th for mine.
Oh, is he? Mine's sorry, ignore me. He's my timing sheet's just having a bit of a meltdown where people are dropping into the pits, and what's happening? So he's the guy to watch. So Roberts has come out. He's wow, look at that. He's out in traffic, James, and not getting the break in traffic like Willoughby did, but he's only. Wow, I mean, look at that. He's just looking down the sheets. He's 18 seconds ahead of Will. That's contact! That's contact!
He's sent
Roberts. That's a whole new meaning of pushed the pass a little bit there from Roberts. And we've got Busby's in the pits as well. I think that was Stuart Brown there. Look up to it. Keith McKenna's in as well. Really, everyone's diving in the pits. The pit window is slammed open. Hitchin and Ante, the only guys to stay out. Jake Cherrill, he's in as well.
Where is Willoughby?
Where is Willoughby? He's currently in 18th. Let's have a look.
He's going down. Where's he going down on my timing screen?
He is in 18th. He is in the last but one corner currently. So let's see where he's picking up. So here comes Dom Roberts. Now, Busby's just there. He is. He's on the left-hand side in that light blue Porsche, and he's not managed to close up any time. He's about the same roughly to. It's about the same roughly to Dom Roberts now. This is Nathan Willoughby. Is he going to jump on?
What's happened there? He come out in that clean air, and so he's 15th.
Yeah, he's dropped behind Tennant, Gravelli, Armstrong. So he's had a real shocker of an outlap.
Who's
So that's going to be about.
we got,
I mean, so left of the
we got,
pit
so we
is
got Hitchin, Anthony, Charlie Penn, Matt Cox has Nick
Fred.
Xander Hill, Jacob Hyde, Murray Luke, and Tom Tennant, Jake Terrell, and Gary Bacon. So he can still make up 1, 2, 3.
No, Gerald's pitted. Oh, there we go. The top 4 are all in now. Top 4 are in. Hitchin, Anthony, Bev, and Cox have all come into the pits, and just
Well, we've got to get his move on. And just quickly, Tim, Spike 2120, much appreciated subscription. They've 5 months in a row. Messi says got a bit of catching up to do because I've not been around lately, but the coverage is always excellent. Keep up the great work. Thank you very much, Spike.
Thanks, Mike. That's very nice. 5 minutes in a row as well. Brilliant. Thank you for that.
Well done, Spike. Thank you.
Right, so let's have a look. So McKenna has kept his position up to 3rd.
Yeah, but look
let's
at the
see
gap.
where Tom
Look at the
Tennant
gap on
comes
Busby,
out.
Tim. Look at the gap on Busby. McKenna's pulled up on Busby, look.
Yes, hasn't he? Look, that's down to
So,
2 seconds.
And
that's getting incredibly close on exit. Just looking at Willoughby's, so he's dropped down to 8th place from 4th. It's cost him 4 places. Just literally all on the pit stops there.
He had that massive gap, Tim.
Now, just look at times. Now, Tom Tennant, I don't know about your time screen, Jace. He's showing up as pit lane as being 7 seconds. I don't think that's right. That's wrong. So, probably going to be McKenna's the quickest on a 44.2. Willoughby a 47.7. So
you're seeing something I'm not knowing because I've got Willoughby down at
That's
9.9.
That's the actual time stationary, I would imagine.
Yeah, I've got a complete.
But yeah, he's so
Something's gone wrong somewhere.
he's lost about 2 seconds in the pit lane because look at the Hitchens man, probably one of the winners out of that one. He's rose up to 5th place. And yeah, the guy, well, currently there's only one person out on track running stop, which is Chris Eddersford, the only driver not currently to. Oh, he seems to be the last guy to pit. Oh, there we go. As if by magic, he's into the pits.
Here he goes. Here he goes.
Wow.
We've got Willoughby with Cy Anthony right behind him, James Armstrong in front. It's going to be interesting to see what Nathan can do now. I'm not going to lie.
Just that. So yeah, Busby's now looking. He's just pulling away ever so slightly from Keith McKenna. Just keep you up to date with battles further down the field. Ben Cullen's being he's got Morgan Driscoll, I think, behind him, and then just having a little look. Rob Armstrong, Neil Smith, and Gary Bacon just having a little bit of a battle over 27th place, currently on track as well. It's just
I think
Driscoll.
we need some weight. We need some. Oh, there you go. He's back on now. Driscoll's in. I think, Tim, we need to get the sound out for the Porsches. We got 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 in the top 10. And it's only Jonathan Hitchens, Ferrari, Armstrong's Mercedes, and Willoughby McLaren breaking them up.
We have seen, but then how much do you think as well this is down to? Obviously, the Porsche brand new car to iRacing. So of course, a lot of drive. It's a new exciting toy. And we like to play with new exciting toys. So it's also the guys that have adopted it are strong drivers as well. So is it almost a bit of a false reading in some ways? Is the Porsche actually as strong? So we've seen from Jonathan Hitchin in his Ferrari last time out at Imola just how strong that car is, especially in a straight line. Carrick Stone has had a bit of an issue of camera somewhere. Well, let's take a little look and see what happened to Carrick. It is
trying to get out of the way of Busby.
Yeah, I think just let him back mark.
It's
Let's keep McKenna.
Oh! What?
He hit the bounced across the curb on the inside, just trying to keep McKenna's way, and
Very bizarre incident.
ended up costing him dealing there.
Yeah. Nathan's not. Willoughby's not losing time on Armstrong. Armstrong's not getting away, and then like McKenna did. So
no, he's not.
To Willoughby on that one. Every time we go back to him, he's still quite close to Armstrong. He hasn't lost time, and and he lost quite a lot of time to McKenna, didn't he? I think McKenna got well over 2 seconds on him. So
He did.
I mean,
He did.
You know, he's doing well.
On the Porsche conversation, 306 Rally says, seems like everyone that drives it loves it, and it is quicker in it than other GT3s.
Well, I've driven the Porsche.
Oh yeah.
The Porsche, and it is a very stable car to a point. You know, that mark was again Neil.
That's Neil Smith just trying to get. I think he's checked out for the evening. Shame that for Neil Smith headed to the pits. And, yeah,
probably taking the gloves off.
It's just like Morgan Driscoll has got. I think he got past there.
Yeah, that's the thing when you sim it, Tim. You could, if you've had enough, you just put your gloves down, sit in the pits, go get a cup of tea. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. Come join the stream on the iRacing UK on Twitch and YouTube.
Sorry.
Oh, it's all right, mate. Willoughby. He's playing the tactics that Nathan Willoughby has been doing all race there, and almost ground to a halt on the apex there to stop him.
Like, just have some of that, son. Now you know how I felt. It's just literally hit the brake.
Oh, it's almost turning up to it's almost turning into a bit of a bus stop there, and where everyone's sort of stopping and queuing up as Carrick's down, just coming out of the pits.
What's happening with him today?
Let's have a look. Is he just... There you go.
Has he had enough
no,
as well?
I think he's had enough, and he checked that as well.
See how much screaming Carrick.
He's almost... I was going to say, it's almost becoming like... It's almost becoming like the Hunger Games almost, where some people are just going, no, that's it, I've had enough, I'm out.
I think the problem is when you get lapped so many times, and because you can't put a lap together when you're constantly pulling over.
That you can't.
And I think he's probably just had enough. Is that, Jake Terrell having a little love tap on the ball there? Did I see that? Yeah, I think Jake got a bit close there.
306 Rally asking.
There's different lines, Tim.
There is.
Armstrong's line doesn't seem as quick as Armstrong.
There's Chris. He's had a bit of an issue somewhere. We'll see if we can cut to that one. Let's have a little look. He's coming through his BMW. I think he's got Busby. He's way behind him. So is he going to back out?
Oh!
No, is that a blink? Is he going to re-emerge?
What's he got?
He's disappeared. Thinks he's Austin Powers here, and he's shuffling that BMW back forth. And
hello, to me, to you.
There we go. No, what's he doing now? He's got lost, I think.
Where you going? Go right.
He's got lost. No, he's got his indicators on. Actually, no, it's a BMW. He won't have any of those. And he's waiting his turn. Mirror signal manoeuvre, and he's off. There we go. Chris Eddersford.
Shout out there to Chris Eddersford for waiting patiently to let other cars through. If you are new to sim racing, please take note and don't just go straight back around the track.
Definitely.
Yes, Chris Eddersford with a safety announcement. Thank you, Chris. Much appreciated to you.
So _on PC, thank you for the follow on Twitch. 306 Rally asking what's happened to Luca. Well, Murray Luca, I did spot earlier, he popped into the pits for a second time. One of our own drivers taking 2 pit stops. He's currently down in 24th place. Having a bit of a hot race, Murray Luca. And wow, we've only got 2 laps to go, James.
Just quickly, I'd like to cover 306 Rallies. Poor Chris, stop watching him. 2 seconds later, actually, good way to set an example, Chris. Well done.
Yes.
So a little bit of a conflict. Austin William Campbell.
Oh, here we go. Darracott, he's going to have the outside line coming into turn 1 in this battle with Austin William Campbell's BMW. He's got it on the inside, and that's the move done.
No, he's not letting him go. William Campbell was not letting Darracott through.
No, he was not. He utilised that inside line, and but here comes Darracott again. Really getting a lot of momentum over the curbs there, and that Mercedes bouncing it all over. And with a new bonnet, we've got a rejuvenated Tim Darracott here, and He's
Well,
really
he hasn't got a
absolutely
V
all over
shape in
back of
front of
them.
him, Tim. He hasn't got a V
That
shape.
Chris Edisford in front of him, just pulling onto one
Well,
side and
Chris-
letting him through. But look, that's Nick Print in his black BMW, just catching up to these guys behind, where they're having their bit of a battle.
Yeah, exactly. We've got 306 Rally. I'm so glad I'm not racing in this. I'm anxious just watching it. So there you go. Now you know.
It is. It's so Roberts is taking quite fun, but it's definitely not a good race for the blood pressure. This one while you're driving.
No,
Yeah.
you should see mine. I tried to think what we are.
Oh,
Right.
him! Wow. He's
Oh.
wow. Absolutely.
It's that last corner. They like it in the brakes in that last corner, don't they? To slow them down. But I think William Campbell took it a little bit far on that one.
Yeah. Wow.
Didn't he just kind of
I
stop?
don't know. Let's we're right on board now. Tim. He's on his third one. It just said.
Yeah, I think William Campbell did slow up quite a lot there. Darren Cox going through bonnets like nobody's business. His old body fitter. He's got 3 already. Bless him.
Oh, Nathan Willoughby. He's got that's Armstrong Gravelli battling. No, it's Armstrong and Armstrong ahead of him. It's James and his father Rob, but taking the victory. Dom Roberts. 5 seconds clear. Not managing to spin it as they all weave all over the track. You can imagine that one. That'll be the irony of that one. Keith McKenna bringing his Porsche home in 3rd place. Looks like Tom Ten is going to make it a top 4 for Porsche as we'll wait till he gets across the line. John Hitchin, he's having a good rise there. Only 8 places this week. I think that's a B-. Must try harder after last week's meteoric wait.
Tim, get your license, get the GT3 car, see how you get on. Willoughby got in 8th. Well done, Nathan.
Brilliant drive from Nathan, absolutely brilliant. Matt Cox comes home in 12th place in his Porsche. And that's this William Campbell, Tim Darracott, Nick Print finish as they were when we were previously looking at them. Josh Pratt. So he has had a really quiet race. I don't think we've mentioned him much tonight, but it's shown at 8 places. So great drive from him, Sander Hill. Daryl Norkett, obviously we saw him in the sprint race earlier, qualifying obviously into the feature race. Jacob Hyde as well. Oh, Ben Cullen having...
Cullen's having a little bit of brush with the ball in the last corner.
That's all right. It's the last lap. It's the last corner. You don't need much more of that car. As long as you can get across the start finish.
Well, there
You're all right, Ben. Don't worry about that one. Just having a little look. There's not many drivers left to come across the line.
I think
now.
that's it, Tim, the last one. I think the last one, we've got the leaders coming back round the last corner again, so I think they've gone round, but I think that's it.
Yeah, I think that.
Murray Lewis. Right. Go on, Tim, off you go.
Okay, no worries. So your official race results are Dom Roberts taking the win on the top place of the podium. Paul Busby in 2nd place, and Keith McKenna making it a Porsche lockout on the podium. Tom Tennant comes home in 4th place in his Porsche, and the first non-Porsche is John Hitchin in 5th in his Ferrari. Alberto Gravelli 6th, James Armstrong 7th, and the absolute defensive masterclass that was put on by Nathan Willoughby in his McLaren, coming home 8th place in the end. Cy Anthony 9th, and Jake Cherrill 10th in their Porsches respectively. And look at that, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of the top 10 are Porsche. Charlie Pebb brings his BMW home in 11th. Matt Cox 12th. Austin William Campbell 13th. Tim Darracott 14th. The man of many bonnets in his Mercedes. Nick Print comes home in 15th. Josh Pratt, quite a race for him in 16th. Stuart Brown 17th. Xander Hill 18th. Daryl Norkett 19th. Jacob Hyde 20th. Ben Cullen is in 21st and the first of our non-point scoring positions. But let's have a little look at the championship and see how that's managed to affect things.
There was a couple of drivers in this week, though, Tim, that had a very quiet race.
There were.
So we got a new leader with Paul Busby on 92 points. Overtakes Jonathan Hitchin, who's on 91. Tom Tennant, Keith McKenna, Alberto Gravelli, Charlie Bebb, James Armstrong, Dominic Roberts, Andreas Bedoya, Matt Cox round out your top 10. With Chris Chatterton, Damien Lebert, Andrew Jones, Jake Cherrill, Danny Goslin, Jacob Hyde, Darren Wiley, Mark Jennings, Cy Anthony, and Ollie Pimley round out your top 20, Tim.
Lovely stuff.
There you go.
Lovely stuff. Wow.
We had a couple of very quiet drivers this week. Damien
Yeah,
G didn't get going, did he? Chris Elliford, obviously, you know, he had a bit of a wild one. Josh Pratt was very quiet this week. There wasn't a lot coming back from him, and Xander Hill was another quiet one that was we were talking about
yeah.
in the last GT3. So
I think this is the tricky one is obviously with it being so hard to overtake around here. It's I think that's probably why we haven't seen quite. You know, with some people have had quieter races than others. I mean, you know, if you look at Dom Roberts and Paul Busby, basically they, you know, from the start cleared off into the distance, and that was it. You know, I know Keith McKenna made a bit of a comeback in the end, but could only get to within 2 seconds of them, and that was it. And yeah, they had an incredibly quiet race. You know, started finished where they started.
well, there you go. We've got Jake in chat. Jake's put, geez, that was tough. Well, Jake, tell us how it was from your point of view, because we were definitely excited up here, mate. How did you get on? Have you lost about £3 in sweat, or are you still going? Because to be honest, hey, I have. You know
I think it's probably lost £3 just from the anxiety of trying to keep his push out of the wall, really.
Yeah. Well, we've got Crystalis. Much appreciated for the follow. Much love to you.
Lovely stuff. Yeah, I didn't spot that one. Well done.
No,
lovely stuff. And well, yeah, it's so. Where do we go? I mean, it's in comparison to Imola, it was quite a race, but still action packed, and as always, it is with GT3s.
The thing is, though, Tim, it's going to be when you're on a circuit like this, aren't it? You're on that American Monaco. Keep it out of the wall, and if you can do that, you do quite well. And if you can't, unfortunately, you know, there's a few that have ended up down the field, but I think, to be fair, they all did well. And
well,
it should be
Jake
interesting into Lagos, shouldn't it?
Just posted in the chat on Twitch saying I was pushing as hard as I could. The lads up front were so quick. Well, I think yes, they were quick, Jake, but I think equally as well they had a lot of fresh air as well. And you know, I know Nathan was, you know, he was doing an absolute defensive masterclass and holding people up, but even so, you know, the drivers that he was holding up are extremely quick, just weren't able to find a way past him. And yeah, I think Jake's saying that they're all very consistent, and that was the key to tonight. It was just consistency, and I mean, look at Nathan. It's how he was able to hold everyone up for so long. He was just so consistent every time. You know, placed the car exactly where he needed to, and that's why he was able to maintain that position for so long.
I think that's the thing, and it only took one mistake from Nathan, didn't it? One mistake to let McKenna through, but he did so well up until that point. And then obviously his pit stops 2 seconds, was it, longer than the others?
Yes,
I
was.
think, you know, I think he was just unlucky not to pick up more than what he did. But I think he did well, and it just shows that you can defend. But then, you know, we can defend a little bit too much, and you end up with Tim Darracott needing a new bonnet. So, you know,
well, a few times.
Yeah, exactly. I think. Well, yeah. Let's just say
I think the Mercedes spare parts department will be loving his bill tonight. I think. T-Pagana Curls, thank you for coming in with the follow over on Twitch. And Jake, yes, you were Jake tonight, mate. I apologise earlier for calling you Jack. Or last. Just an administrative oversight. That unfortunately you were Jack all last time. So apologies about that one, my friend. Daniel Wolfshoe, thank you for the follow coming in on Twitch as well. Spotted over in YouTube. I think my son is on my account and is posting in the chat because that wasn't me who's posted on there. So thank you for that, son, if you're listening downstairs. The amount we shout, he probably doesn't even need to listen to the stream. You can hear it going on word for word. So I think good point to round off there. And wow, so obviously, as we mentioned, we in terms of live coverage here on the channel, we are back on Tuesday night as F3 returns, and then it's Porsche Cup as well on next Sunday. But for more GT3 action, we are back in 2 weeks' time here on Twitch and YouTube. We will be heading to Brazil to the Autodrome Jose Carlos Pace, or
I
Interlagos, as
cannot
everyone calls it.
wait for that.
I,
Interlagos is one of
it's
my favorite tracks. It is
uh,
gonna be epic.
It is. It's a nice wide track. We saw an absolute brilliant battle last time out between Lee Green, Dave Lowson, and Chris Hitchin, which was absolutely enthralling and came all the way down to the pit stops. It was an absolutely brilliant race that was within the AM and rookie class category. And wow, that was absolutely brilliant. And I know the chat were really excited about that one last time when we watched that one. So yeah, absolutely brilliant. That's from season 2. So, wow, I think it's time to say just thank you for everyone at home at watching. Thank you to all of our drivers, obviously yourself, James, and producer
Mhm.
Sean for assisting us and helping all the magic happen.
No
We will
worries.
see you again in 2 weeks' time, and thank you for watching. And this has been an iRacing UK broadcast on iRacing, the world premier motorsport simulator. Thank you and good night.
Good night.